Hello and welcome to my channel, Lifestyle and Fashion Tea. And on this channel, we talk about everything from fashion to reaction. Well, I came across a story today, and it was about teenage boys who are being blackmailed online, and it cost them their lives. Something that has been going on, which is called sextortion, the practice of extorting money or sexual favors from someone by threatening to reveal evidence of their sexual activity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is such a devastating story, and I'm going to need you to talk to your children about who they talk to online, about who they talk to, period, because I don't trust anyone. Let's get into it. High school senior James Wood was obsessed with comics. He could quote every episode of The Flash, idolized the superhero Green Arrow, and often sported a Naruto-inspired headband he insisted help him run faster in track meets. He looked forward all year to a trip his family and friends planned for the DreamCon comic book convention of the following summer. 3 months into the school year, just before Thanksgiving, the 17-year-old passed away by unaliving himself. His parents were shocked, grieving, and baffled. James, who lived in Streetsboro, Ohio, had not struggled with mental health. Well, this is due to what their family is saying, but mental health is something that you can hide. But let's keep going. When police looked through James' phone, they discovered he had fallen victim to financial sextortion, a crime that occurs when a predator threatens to distribute private material or harm a victim if they don't comply with the predator's demands. The scam is the fastest growing cybercrime targeting children in North America and most commonly exploits young men, particularly boys aged 13 to 17. Sextortion has been connected to at least 30 deaths of teen boys by suicide since 2021, according to a tally of private cases, and that the latest FBI numbers from cybersecurity experts. This is a picture of the teen James Wood, 17. He had just gotten his driver's license, and he took his senior photo, and in the weeks before, he was sextorted. Let's keep going. In more than a dozen interviews, male sextortion victims and the parents of teenage boys who died by suicide described how predators established a false sense of trust before blackmailing their victims. All of the parents spoke with said their teens died by suicide within 24 hours of being threatened, though the windows was often shorter. James's predators falsely told him he would face jail time for sending nude photographs, that his parents would stop loving him, and that he would never be able to run track again or go to college. In the next 19 hours, they would send James more than 200 messages, a technique predators use to instill a sense of urgency and prevent giving the victim time to think or reach out for help. They eliminated his desire for a future, says his mother. Tamia Woods, I don't think that James knew he was a victim. So this is a picture of how the messages usually appear. And I'm going to read what it says. Your pics are really cute. Haha. The messages often begin innocuously and come from someone who appears to be a teenage girl. Hey, I found your page through suggested friends, a cybercriminal wrote in one exchange reviewed by USA Today. Your pics are really cute. Predators establish trust and quickly steer the conversation towards sexual topics or send unsolicited nudes. They typically move the conversation to a second app such as Snapchat, WhatsApp, or private text message. The blackmail starts minutes later. Predators isolate the teens by threatening to send their nude photos to their contacts or friends on social media if they don't pay a sum of money, creating fear and humiliation and discouraging them from telling a trusted adult. The blackmailers also accuse teens of being criminals for exposing themselves and warn they will be put on the sex offenders list. On the night of March 24, 2022, 17-year-old Jordan DeMay was at home in Marquette, Michigan, when he received an Instagram message from a pretty girl his age. She said she was from Texas but was going to school in Georgia. They shared a mutual friend, she wrote. They exchanged intimate photos, and the conversation immediately changed. The criminals behind the account threatened to release the images, demanding money. Jordan sent his predators the $300 he saved for a car payment. When he told the blackmailers he was suicidal after they asked for more money, they responded, "We're going to watch you die a miserable death." When he told them he was intent on unaliving himself, they replied, "Good, do that fast, or I'll make you do it, I swear to God." At 3:45 a.m., less than 6 hours after he received the initial message, Jordan died by suicide. The teenage girl who messaged him was really a group of cyber criminals that included Samuel Ogashi and Samson Ogashi, Nigerian brothers who in September 2024 were sentenced to 17 and a half years in prison. Extradited in the U.S., the group of predators targeted Jordan and more than 100 others, including at least 11 minors. Wow. This is another teen, Gavin. He's sitting with his dad. South Carolina State Rep Brandon Guffey had never heard of sextortion before it happened to his 17-year-old son, Gavin, who died by suicide in July of 2022. In the months after Gavin's death, his sextortionists continued to reach out to family members from new accounts on Instagram. While Guffey and his wife were on a weekend trip to Myrtle Beach in August, trying to take a break to sort through their own trauma, Guffey got a message from the scammer. "Did I tell you your son begged for his life?" Oh my goodness. This is insane. Let's continue. Guffey championed Gavin's law in South Carolina. It passed in 2023. The legislation makes sextortion a felony offense and an aggravated felony if the victim is underage or a vulnerable adult or suffers bodily injury or death related to the crime. Local school districts are required to teach the law. Great law. Great law. Trump, you could learn something from him. This is another young man by the name of Riley. Mary Roddy, whose son Riley Basford took his own life in 2021, 6 hours after he was sextorted, says her sons had a mom and dad who he knew would do anything for him. Roddy and other parents say their teens made a permanent decision for a temporary problem. Absolutely. The thing that made Riley the life of the party is also the thing that makes a 15-year-old do what Riley did, says Rhodey of Canton, New York. It's impulsivity. It's wanting to be light and funny, and he was so afraid of the trauma of what would come. Oh, this is horrible. Please talk to your children. There were more teens listed in this report because, as you can see, there was a 9-page indictment on the Agoshis brothers, who's thankfully behind bars. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of information of teenagers' brains and how they develop. Also, some signs to look for. Also, who you can call for help. God forbid this should happen to anyone else. Anyone else. Teenagers' executive functioning, abstract thinking, and decision-making skills continue to develop through age 25. Teens often focus more on the here and now than future orientation and are at higher risk for attention and hyperactivity problems, which can contribute to impulsive suicide attempts, according to Jill Harkavy Friedman, Senior Vice President of Research for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. She quotes, "That's part of what might lead teens to act more quickly on something, to not really weigh all the risk and jump right into something that seems appealing." Cybersecurity experts and parents recommend having conversations about sextortion and internet safety early on, which can help build trust and confidence over time. The narrative of how parents discuss nude imagery and exploitation has to evolve with the rise in technology threats. This information is coming from Lauren Coffrin, Executive Director of the Exploited Children Division at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The rise of generative artificial intelligence tools has enabled scammers to create highly realistic, deep fake images and videos. In some cases, children and teens were blackmailed even when they didn't send a nude image. Roughly 1 of 10 reports. Ultimately, the most crucial message teens need to know is that the blackmailer is to blame, not them. Even if they regret their choice, it's the predator who committed a crime. Victims experiencing sextortion should tell a trusted adult. Those in need of immediate mental health assistance can call or text the 988 suicide hotline. If you or someone you know is struggling or in a crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org. Next up, I do have a few safety tips and resources. Number 1, be selective about what you share online. If your social media accounts are open to everyone, a predator may be able to figure out a lot of information about you. This is so important. Guys, this is so important. This is not only important for kids, but for adults as well. Number 2, be wary of anyone you encounter for the first time online. Block or ignore messages from strangers. Absolutely Absolutely. Block it, ignore it, whatever you got to do. Just do not respond. This is for grown-ups too. 3, be aware that people can pretend to be anything or anyone online. Videos and photos are not proof that people are who they claim to be. Images can be altered or stolen. In some cases, predators have even taken over the social media accounts of their victims. 4, be suspicious. If you meet someone on one game or app and that person asks you to start talking on a different platform. 5, be in the know. Any content you create online, whether it is a text message, photo, or video, can be made public, and nothing actually disappears online. Once you send something, you don't have any control over where it goes next. Wow. All 5 of these tips so far. I think I have one more, y'all. This is for adults and children. Number 6, be willing to ask for help if you are getting messages or requests online that don't seem right. Block the sender, report the behavior to the site administrator, or go to an adult. If you have been victimized online, tell someone. Being a victim of sextortion is not your fault. You can get through this challenge, even if it seems scary and overwhelming. There are people who want to help. Oh my goodness, this was so informative. Guys, you have got to share this, like, and subscribe. Now, if you have any information about or believe you are a victim of sextortion, contact your local FBI field office. Call 1-800, call FBI, or report it online at the website that you see. And this FBI PSA, National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, shares survivor stories and resources for individuals to get help. More FBI sextortion resources are available. Before I reported this story, I had no idea how insightful this would be to myself, to my children. Even though my children are grown, they still think they know everything, and they don't. Guys, please like this video, share this video, and please subscribe. I thank you all for listening and watching. Thank you. Again, like, share, and subscribe.